as soon as it started, I wasn't. I was not in my happy place.
Yeah, I wanted to catch people off guard.
Right.
You know?
Well, you did. I think when people see it, they're just gonna be like, it's gonna be an immediate like good slap in the face.
Right.
So.
Right.
What's up, guys? It's DJ K Young, and today I'm sitting down with DJ Paimon to talk about his new project, Soul De Selene. So we're sitting down with DJ Paimon, the one and only, talking about your new project. I mean, from audio to visual,
everything.
Soul De Selene. It's awesome. I got to preview it, so thank you. I appreciate it. But let's just start from the title. Like, tell everybody about the title. Where did you come up with it? What does it mean, for this entire project?
Absolutely. So Soul De Selene. So the project itself is a concept project, meaning it tells a story from beginning to end. So if you listen to the project from start to finish cohesively, you'll get a full story with each song. So the story that it tells, just to sum it up, it's like a love story that goes south. So the way I wanted to structure the album was kind of start light and then it gets darker as it goes. So Soul De Selene is actually a play on words that soul in Spanish means sun and Selene in French means moon. Okay. So it starts, with the sunrise and then ends with the sunset. And then Selene I use as a fictional character who represents the love interest in the story.
Okay.
So Soul De Selene is Selene's soul. So it's basically a double entendre just in the title alone. But originally I was looking for something that was like sunrise to sunset or like light to dark. I was looking for different ways of having that be the title without being cliche. So I was just looking up different ways to say sunrise or sun or light or things like that. And when I found Soul and Selene, it immediately came to me. I'm like, oh, Selene's actual could be a girl's name too, so that could be the love interest. And then Soul, could mean, the way I spelled it was S-O-U-L, but in Spanish S-O-L means sun. So it just worked perfectly with that, with the combination of those words. So
that's cool. I mean, so we're gonna talk this entire time about the project.
Yeah.
But it's not only audio. I mean, you've got 8 tracks that you've produced, written, everything, and we'll get into that. But then you also did a music video, but it's not like any music video that most people are accustomed to seeing. It's not your one music video and then you've got, 8 more to come. It's one complete
film
movie.
Yeah,
I would call it a movie.
Yeah. It's I would say it's inspired by things that Kanye did with My Beautiful Dark and Twisted Fantasy. He did a little visual album, short film, like it was like a artistic interpretation of what the album meant. Beyonce did with Lemonade. She released the DVD. So it was kind of inspired by how they chose to visually show their art within the music, as opposed to doing like a music video. Because I couldn't really pick just like one song to do a visual for, especially with a project like this where it's a story from beginning to end. I wanted to tell that whole story rather than just the story of one of the songs. So I figured the best way to do it would just be have a film that visually and artistically tells that story, but at the same time has snippets of the songs from the album to help carry that story.
It's I mean, once people actually get to see it, they're gonna be like, what the heck?
I'm excited.
Because I mean, I told you, obviously, in private, like I had seen things like this, of course, like on a bigger scale, like Lemonade, like you just said, but from a independent level, I have seen like quite a few, but it was so put together and you could follow everything, and that's what like struck me as like, wow, this is like, not to gas you up, not to like give you a big head, you know what I mean? Because
you always do.
You know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like you can follow it. Like, there's an actual like plot, like a beginning and end, a middle, a plot, like everything that storytelling's supposed to do. Yeah. And you also wrote it. Right. So that's even more crazy.
Because when I was writing this, the crazy thing was, I came up with the concept of the album first, because I always wanted to tell this story of essentially, my personal experiences with love and heartbreak.
So this is a personal, because I was like going to be like, is this like based on a true story?
Yeah, so it was inspired by events that happened in my life, but what I did was I took multiple relationships and multiple situations from different
So he's about to get offended.
I mean, they might recognize certain situations or certain conversations or certain things, certain references. They'll probably recognize if they pay attention to my stuff. But yeah, it's not all based off one girl.
Right,
it's not all based off one relationship. It's over my entire life. Experiences that I've gone through in relationships have inspired this project. This idea was for me to kind of take, love and then, how it could go south, how it could go wrong into heartbreak, but then also encapsulate all the things that come with that. So the vicious cycle of, of certain, themes of like, lack of trust leading to, people playing games and then that causing heartbreak. And then, all the things that come with love and heartbreak, I wanted to touch upon those within this project and tell that story chronologically almost. And then when I came up with the visuals for it, I also wanted to do it in a way that wasn't too abstract. Because sometimes, things could be cool visually and very artistic, but they might not have replay value or people might not get, like, they'll be like, I don't get it. Like, it's cool, but like, and then they're not going to watch it again. So this one, I wanted it to, whether you watched the visual album first and then listen to the album or listen to the album first and then watch the visual album, I wanted you to be able to see the same story and hear it all.
Well, I mean, I guess for me, when, like, whether you're a female or a male, you've been through it. Whether you're heterosexual or not, you've been through it. Whether you're whatever. I mean, it, like, the whole scenario that plays out from the album to the lyrics to the visual aspect, it like somebody's gonna be like, that happened to me.
And that was another one of my aims, was because obviously part of it is to tell my story, and because writing music off of personal experiences or doing any art off of personal experiences is therapeutic, so that was part of it. But then the other part of it was because I know what I went through, it is so relatable that people will connect with
for sure
a lot of the things that they hear and they see on this project. So that was the main thing that I was excited about, was for people to, I can't think of a song that like people are going to be like, ooh, that's the one. I can't, because there's going to be so many different things that people might take from it. So there might be one track that is somebody's favorite or someone relates to, and then a different one for another one,
And who's featured on it? Because you wrote everything and produced it, obviously.
So I wrote and produced the entire project. There was certain parts vocally that I wasn't confident in performing it. I didn't think I could do certain vocals justice. So for the intro, so the beginning of the project, of the album and the film, kind of starts off in present time, after everything's already happened. And it's, it's me driving and obviously visibly upset and emotional and just kind of going through my thoughts about everything that's happened. And then, so it's me kind of just giving a brief synopsis of what is going on in my mind. And then the crash. Right? So then there's the crash, and then in the album, it's me just basically taking you back to the beginning and then going in order pretty much of the story. But in the film, it kind of plays out as flashbacks. Memories because of the crash. I'm disoriented now at this point. So as I'm walking and, injured, visibly, like head trauma, I'm just having constant flashbacks of what got me to that point. So the flashbacks end up being little mini music videos, little samples of the songs.
Super cool.
Yeah, thank you. And so, the very first song you hear in the film, which ends up being part of the intro in the album, is this, almost like this like 1950s doo-wop feel. And I had Bio, he goes by Ade, I had him sing that part for me because he hits that falsetto real nicely. So, and the reason I chose to do a 1950s type doo-wop sound was because, when you listen to the intro and it's this really hard, distorted drums, really like dark sounding intro, because that's obviously where I'm at right now in the present. I wanted there to be a very distinct juxtaposition between the dark and then taking you back to the light. Well,
so I personally watched the video first. I'm a visual person, which is weird because I'm a DJ. But, but
no, it's interesting to me to see how people are going to consume this. So,
but you know, being a DJ, you'd think, I'm going to listen to that. No, I wanted to watch the video first. So I watched the video first and then went back and listened to the album. And again, just listening to your intro, you know, it was super impactful, like right from the jump, which I really thought was
So
was awesome.
and that's another thing I wanted to take people by surprise, because also at this point,
because it was you caught my attention immediately. You know what I mean?
And the funny thing is, I don't even do things in perfect order in the film that I did in the album. So like in the album, in the film, I used Selene, which is the last song on the album. I used that as the intro and the outro. So for the intro on the album is a completely different. It's very cinematic and dark as well. Okay. But it's also very like bam in your face, and it's completely different sounding almost than the rest of the album.
Oh yeah,
like tone wise, like it's very aggressive. And while a lot of the album is pretty dark, it's not as aggressive as this intro for this album. So, and I wanted that to be on purpose because I wanted to catch people off guard. Right. You know?
Well, you did, but not in a bad way. In a good way. Like automatic, immediate attention. Like I didn't know what to expect.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I just kind of threw
and
you.
And I think when people see it, they're just gonna be like, it's gonna be an immediate like good slap in the face.
Right.
So
right.
I think that was like super cool.
And for the people that I've previewed it to also.
Had the same feeling.
It's I love seeing their reaction right when it starts off, because it does just the album, even the intro just starts off like real like cinematic and dark, and like it has a build up, you know, and it was funny. I remember when I was letting TJ preview it, and he heard the intro, and he just during the build up in the beginning when the voicemails were playing, he was like, "Bro, I'm not okay." It really, you feel the anxiety of the.
Yeah, I felt something because as soon as it started, I was not in my happy place. Which
was intentional.
And I'm just
obviously.
like, wait, okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what's happening.
Yeah,
okay,
this is dark. Yeah.
So he started off, okay, cool, great. You know, so.
So then it starts off dark, take it to the 1950s doo-wop sample, and the reason for that was because now at this point in the story, since I'm taking it back to the beginning, it's love at first sight, right? Right. And so
the best love era, probably.
When you think exactly, like love songs, like I picture like in like an old diner, like love, you know, like the
was it
50s.
Pleasantville?
That type of like that type of song playing, you know, and then the lyrics itself, you know, you're my sunrise, you know, like you light up my life, you know, like so it's like that's the way, like, you know, you took the darkness away. That's the way I explain within, you know, a few bars.
In a real relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're happy, like when it's what. You know, the honeymoon stage, everybody says. And that was like, you brought it in.
Yeah, so that was the feeling I was trying to give you right away, right after giving you this really dark, aggressive feeling. And that was intentional to just kind of like soften you up for the beginning of the story now.
So, like, you're actually singing and rapping. Okay, so like, I guess I'm going to toot your horn.
Yeah.
I was like, this is an artist.
Yeah.
2 out of the 8 tracks are with features, and then it's you.
Yeah, more than just a DJ, I'm more than just a producer. I'm an artist, like you said. You know, that's probably going to take a lot of people by surprise as well.
Yeah,
you know,
that did.